everybody. Brad Nessler here with Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit, bringing you today's exciting matchup. Mother Nature has served up perfect weather for today's game between the Rice Owls and the USC Trojans. Happy New Year from all of us at EA Sports. This one should be a fun game to watch. And here come the Trojans. I'll tell you, this one can go either way. Kirk, what do you think will happen today?
Rice has a good chance here because of one reason: the play of their outstanding running back. He is a phenomenal athlete, and I think he'll have a big game today, and I think they're going to win a close one.
He's right. I'm going with Kirk. Rice is going to win this one.
Ready to get this one underway as the teams are lined up for the opening kick. He sends it off. Walker fields it at the 9. So now we'll get to see the offense come onto the field for their first drive of this game. As the offense comes to the line, we've got quite a running back coming into the backfield.
Brad, this kid is awesome. And I really think that this offense needs to get him the ball 20 to 25 times to win this game.
No doubt about it, Coach. He's the key to this game. Let's see how he does against his solid defense.
Taylor brings him down at the 26. There it is, guys. He's done it. We've got a new NCAA record for the most rushing yards in one season.
Wow, congratulations. This will be one of those games you remember for a long time.
This is indescribable. I don't think anybody here will ever forget this day.
The Owls come out in the shotgun. Jordan tackles him for a loss on the play. A lot of problems on the defensive side of the ball for these guys, Coach.
Absolutely. They can't tackle. They can't cover. They better learn fast if they're going to win today.
Back to pass. He's drilled as he throws. Curry with the tackle at the 27. Nice stop by the defense.
Well, they let him catch it, but they were not going to let him get that first down.
The punter comes on the field, getting ready to send one off. Wheeler is waiting for the snap. He punts it. Curry fields it at the 38. Now we'll get to see how this quarterback can do today as he comes out onto the field for the first time. They'll start this drive at the 38-yard line. They're in the I. Cutler flips it left, and they get him in the backfield for a loss.
The defensive coordinator has a lot of confidence in his pass defense if he's releasing a safety to stop the run.
And Kirk, that leaves a big hole out there. But on plays when they run the ball, it works.
This defense has shown that they're one of the best in the nation.
Teams haven't been able to move the ball well on these guys all year.
Well, they have a great front seven who can overpower blockers and a secondary that provides great support in the run and pass. That's what makes a great defense.
He's tackled at the 41. Good pickup by the receiver.
Yeah, this kid loves to play. He wants the ball every time they throw it up.
They come out with 3 wide receivers.
Ball on the 41-yard line.
Cutler back to pass. Steps up. Looks. Cutler passes. Finds his receiver. To the 10. Touchdown, USC. He hauled in the long pass for the touchdown.
This receiver is big time, big play. This with baseball, he's that cleanup because he's the biggest home run threat they got.
They'll line up for the point after. And he adds the extra point. And here's the Pontiac drive summary. USC is ready to kick it away. Decent kick. Walker takes it at the 4. So the offense takes over, and the last time they had the ball, they had a tough time getting anything going. They'll get the ball here
Will
at the
start
22.
the drive at the 22-yard line. First and 10.
Rice comes out in the shotgun. Brings him down for a loss. They line up at the 20. It's second down and 12 to go. The Owls line up with a single set backfield. They go with a toss. He throws it to his quarterback.
Interesting play right there, Coach.
This offensive coordinator has always had a bunch of trick plays up his sleeve. It may not have worked this time, but you can bet he still has a lot more of them to choose from.
Third and 12.
Third down and
Ball
12.
at the
Ball on the
20-yard
20-yard line. 6 DBs in the lineup. Stone back to throw. Throws it to the outside. And that one's incomplete. So the defense gets him to go 3 and out.
Good job here defensively forcing this incomplete pass.
4th and 12.
Rice
Ball
ready to
on
put
the
this one
20-yard
away.
line.
Punts the ball away. Curry fields at the 44. Well, the offense heading back out onto the field after that kick, hoping to turn this drive into another touchdown. Good field position here. They'll start this drive inside their opponent's territory. 6 DBs in the lineup. Cutler with a nice play fake. Looking. He chucks it downfield. He caught it for the touchdown. They hooked up for the long touchdown there, guys.
What a great call. The quarterback knew he had the matchup that he wanted, and he took advantage of it.
How about that receiver? He made a great catch.
Well, I think they might have gone just a little too far that time.
Unspoken on the offense. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the try.
Now they'll try to tack on the extra point. He splits the uprights with the extra point. In the first with better than 12 minutes to go. Our score, USC 14, Rice nothing. Ostrom looks ready to kick this one off. He kicks it off. Walker has it at the 5. The defense did a nice job of shutting down this offense the last time they had the ball.
The offense was not clicking at all. Let's see if they're back on the same page.
The offense will take over at the 32-yard
line. First and 10.
The Owls go with the I formation. Here's the give. He jukes him. Oliver tackles him for a loss on the play.
Man, I sure wouldn't want to be hit by that kid.
That's not baby fat on him anymore. He weighs 300 pounds plus. I don't know if I'd be calling him a kid.
Well, I'm not the one out there taking the hits
Second
either,
and
my
11.
friend.
From their own 31-yard
line.
line. Second down. Rice comes to the line, only one man in the backfield. Stone will hand it off.
Nice tackle in the backfield there. This guy just overpowered his blockers and drove down the ball carrier.
He really showed his strength on that play. This guy has one of the highest bench presses on the team.
Well, he's one of the heaviest guys on the team, too. I hope he's one of the strongest.
It's 3rd and 14. The defense comes out with 5 defensive backs this time. He lets it fly. And it's the senior. Morris tackles him at the 41-yard line. Boy, does this kid have an arm or what?
Are you kidding me? It looks like he has a rocket launcher attached to his shoulder.
Rice lining up the punt. Curry is back deep to return the punt. He gets it off. Signals for a fair catch.
Great passing was the key for the offense the last time they had the ball. They were able to pick apart the defense and get down the field for a touchdown.
So if I'm the coach, I'm telling my defensive linemen to get more pressure on that quarterback, please.
They'll start at the 20-yard
USC
line.
Trojans take over at the 20-yard line. First and 10.
The Trojans come out showing 3 wide. Surveys the field. Wants to go long and does. He's got it!
I thought I was paying attention here, but I looked up and pow! The guy's got 100 yards receiving already. When did that happen?
Coach, I'm wondering the same thing. He's having a great game out there today.
First and 10.
It's first down. And down he goes at the 24-yard line. Holland gets 3 yards on the play. Second down, 7 yards to go. Ball on the 24-yard line. The defense lines up with 5 defensive backs. Cutler set to go to the air. He unloads it. Man wide open, and it's the tight end. Nice job by the quarterback to hit the tight end for a decent gain.
And this guy's not going to burn too many guys deep, but he's definitely a good possession guy who you can rely on.
Here's what they've done on offense.
Absolutely amazing. It seems like nobody can stop these guys when they've got the ball, Lee.
Not bad at all. This team has been moving the football and scoring on everybody they've played.
Holland gains around 3 yards on the run. That'll make it second down. USC is one of the best teams in the country at getting points once they enter the red zone.
You're absolutely right, my friend. This offense knows how to close the deal and put points on the scoreboard.
Touchdown, Trojans. Depending on what team you're rooting for here, you're either really excited or you're ready to hit the reset button.
Well, these guys aren't ready to throw in the towel just yet. We've got over 3/4 of football yet to play.
They need to come up with some big plays on both sides of the ball. Maybe a big kick return here, and that'll get them going and get them back into this game.
Here's the try for the extra point. And he adds the extra point. More than 9 minutes left here in the first quarter. And the score, USC 21, Rice nothing. to kick this one off. Sends it sailing downfield. Davis fields it in the end zone. Juke move. This defense did a good job on the last series. They forced the offense to go 3 plays and out.
And now they're looking to build off of that and shut them down again right here.
This drive will start at the 17-yard line.
First and 10.
Stone lines up in the shotgun. Stone with the give. Miles tackles him behind the line for a loss on the play. They line up at the 14. Second down. Rice comes to the line with 3 wide. He'll get it again. Miles brings him down for a loss.
Makes the stop.
1 yard loss.
1 yard loss on the play.
They line up at the 13. Third down, 14 yards to go. From the gun. Stone drops the throw. They'll make the sack.
What a sack. It's not good when your quarterback is taking shots like that.
Yeah, he's lucky he still has all of his limbs attached after that hit.
As a quarterback, this guy has got to learn how to protect himself a little bit better. Otherwise, he might not make it through the game, let alone the season.
Fourth and long.
Looks like they're going to punt it away here. Curry is back to receive. He punts it. Curry fields it at the 44, loses the football, and the defense picks it up. They nearly gave that ball away.
But luckily that guy was paying attention to what was going on and was able to recover the football.
And they'll look to capitalize on the good field position here. They line up in an I. Allen, the ball carrier, tries to juke. Spin move. Tackle at the 23. And the tailback picks up great yardage on the run.
How many times did we see him run that play in practice this week?
1,000 times. And it was just as successful then as it is right now.
From the 23-yard line, it's first down. Cutler to the air on first down. Got hit as he threw.
He just overthrew them on that one.
Quarterback has to make those passes. You can't overthrow a guy like that.
Second and 10. Ball on the 23.
23-yard line.
Cutler back to pass. Rolls to the right. Across the middle. And they couldn't hook up on that one. He might have been looking to run and didn't secure the ball.
Well, sometimes you see young players do this. This is something they have to work very hard to be able to overcome.
Third down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 23-yard line. Holland is the single setback. Under pressure, fumbles the ball. It's the running back who picks it up. They nearly gave that ball away.
But luckily that guy was paying attention to what was going on and was able to recover the football.
They call on the kicker for a long field goal.
34-yard line.
This one 51 yards away. It has the distance. And it splits the upright. And that was a long, long field goal.
Boy, that kick could sure kick the football.
USC to kick. He kicks it off. Davis fields it at the 3. Not a whole lot of success their last time out.
Not at all. This offense has to do a better job of staying on the field and giving their defense a chance to catch their breath.
First and 10. The Owls are lining up with 3 receivers. Merrick gets the call. Bounces off a would-be tackler. He's tackled at the 36. He picked up big yardage on that run.
Oh, this is great blocking up front. Nice job of holding on to their blocks, allowing him to break through for some big yards.
First down. Ball on the 36-yard line.
Stone with 3 wide receivers. Again with a carry. And he's stopped behind the line. Loss of 1 there for the halfback.
Loss on the play.
From their own 35-yard line.
Ball on the 35-yard
It's 2nd and 11.
line.
Merrick lines up as a single back. He gets another carry. Oliver brings him down for a loss. No place to go that time, and the offense loses a yard or 2.
Nice job of plugging up all the gaps and the possible cutback lanes by the defense.
Third and 12 coming up on this one. Ball on their own 34. Rice sets up with 4 receivers. He steps up, fires it quickly. Oh, boy, almost intercepted.
The offense caught a break there. That was not a very good pass by this quarterback.
Yeah, Coach, he threw it right into the hands of the defender. He's lucky that he couldn't hold on to it.
That's why this kid is on defense and not offense.
Ball on the 34-yard
The Owls
line.
line up to punt. Wheeler awaits the snap. He gets it away. Curry fields it at the 26. The offense ready to go again. So their last drive ended with 3 points. The offense will start at the 27-yard line.
27-yard line. First and 10.
Holland is the deep back as they line up in the I. He drops back. Stepping up. He's looking. Throwing right. Caught. Weber puffs it up. Scoops up the loose ball. Nice time for a fumble recovery. What do you think, Lee?
That's just what the doctor ordered. The turnover here could be a huge momentum swinger.
They'll go to work at the
24-yard line. First and 10.
Merrick alone in the backfield. That's a great tackle at the 25-yard line. Boy, he is one big guy down there on that defensive line.
Oh, man, the big fella's a hoss. I saw him last night at the hotel, and he had 3 bags of food going up to his room.
Yo, it looks like he's got a big old bag hanging over his belt.
Second and 11.
From the 25-yard line.
25-yard
Second
line.
down and 11 yards to the sticks. The Owls have 5 receivers on this play. Across the middle, there's a very impressive open field tackle. Talk about a throw.
Does this kid have an arm or what? I'm telling you, this thing is like a laser beam coming out of his hand.
Boy, you're right. What a cannon this young man's got.
We'll see what they can do in the red zone.
Ball on the 5-yard line.
It's power football time, folks. Merrick will run it again, and he's tackled at the 2. Merrick gains around 3 yards on the run, so that'll make it second down. It's second and goal. Ball on the 2. Let's see if they can take this one in for 6. Looks to the end zone. How about the tight end? This guy can play some football.
You bet he can. He's such an all-around player. He's just as good at blocking as he is at catching the football.
So the offense is going to go for 2. The Owls come to the line with their jumbo package. He's got the 2. That score leads us to our Pontiac drive silver. Rice is ready to kick it away. Short kickoff. Curry takes it at the 12. The defense was able to keep him out of the end zone on their last possession, but the offense did pick up 3.
They'll start the drive at the 35-yard line. First and 10.
Drops back on first down. Throws it out there. Complete. Oliver brings him down at the 43. Superb effort by the receiver to come down with that ball.
This comes down to the timing between the quarterback and the receiver, and the result, again, a nice play for the offense.
Second and 2 coming up here. Ball on the
43-yard line.
Rice lines up with 5 defensive backs. Drops back to pass. Across the middle. Batted ball. So the only man between him and the end zone makes the tackle. And with that last throw, he's now gone over 200 yards in the half. First and 10.
First and 10. Ball on the 39-yard line.
USC sets up in the I. With a carry. And down he goes at the 38. The running back gets a yard, maybe less. They line up at the 38. We've got second and 9 here. USC comes to the line, only one man in the backfield. On play action. Flips it, and it's caught. He's taken down at the 34-yard line. How about that play?
That's a good pickup there. He just dropped back and delivered a nice throw.
Third down, 5 yards to go.
Ball on the 34-yard line.
USC goes with the ace set here. Play action, throwing right. Incomplete pass. And now it's 4th down. They'll line it up for a very long field goal attempt.
34-yard line.
From 51. The kick is up. And it's good.
That was not an easy 3 points for this offense.
Yeah, but this kicker sure made it look easy. What a leg this kid has.
Man, I give credit to any of these guys that can kick at 50+. That's just awesome.
Everyone's all lined up and ready for the kickoff. He sends it downfield. Walker fields it in the end zone. The offense with a lot of success through the air on that last drive as they moved it down the field for the touchdown. This drive will start at the 18-yard line.
First and 10.
Rice comes to the line with 3 wide. He tackles him for a loss. And the blitz might have caused that one.
Now, the defense took a chance here. They overloaded that side of the ball, and the tailback had nowhere to go.
Second down and 11 yards to the sticks. Ball on the
Second
17.
and 11. Ball on the 17-yard line.
Rice comes out in the shotgun. Harris tackles him for a loss on the play. Third and 12. Ball on their own 16. The Owls line up with 5 receivers. Weaver comes up with a sack. They came with a blitz that time, guys.
Yes, they did, and let me tell you, when you got guys coming at you like this, it's hard to stay composed in the pocket. He's lucky that wasn't a turnover.
The defense outnumbered the offensive line. They got good pressure. Let's give credit to that linebacker for coming up with the big sack.
Fourth and long.
It's fourth down now, and we'll see the punt team. Wheeler is waiting for the snap. He punts it. Curry fields it at the 46. 3 points was the result of their last drive as the offense heads out for another. They'll start this drive at the 42.
They'll take over at the 42-yard line. First and 10.
High formation here. Cutler with a pitch. Tries to juke. Sheds that one. Robinson with a takedown at the 39-yard line. 3-yard gain by the running back. Second down, 7 yards to go. Ball on the 39. The Trojans come out in the ace formation. Drops back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Complete. Tackle at the 27. Boy, did he zip that ball in there.
Yeah, you're right. There's not a whole lot of quarterbacks out there that can make this throw. He delivers this one right where it has to be. Great arm strength.
They line up at the 27.
Ball
It's first
on the
down.
27-yard line.
Cutler comes to the line with 3 wide. Steps up. Cutler is going to be sacked for a loss.
Second
From the
and long.
33-yard line. Second and long coming up here. They come out in a nickel. Cutler drops back to pass. He throws left. He catches another one. Pittman tackles him at the 11-yard line. Penalty marker down in the backfield. Might be a holding call.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
He did get to him late there.
The officials have gotten really serious about hits like this. I think it's good for the game that they're doing such a good job of protecting the quarterbacks.
Kirk, that was well put.
And we take a quick look at the stats from within the red zone, brought to you by Old Spice Red Zone, when performance matters most. He'll get the call again. And down he goes at the 4. Pickup of a yard for the tailback. It's been pretty lopsided here in the first quarter. The score is USC 27, Rice 8. It's second and goal. Ball on the 4-yard line. The Trojans line up with a single set backfield. Holland again. Touchdown, Trojans. And they just keep on scoring.
It's just ridiculous how this offense is making everything look so easy out there.
You know what's scary is we're not even at halftime.
They'll line up for the extra point. He makes the PAT. So we take a moment to check out the Pontiac drive summary. Is lined up to kick this one off. He kicks it. Davis fields it in the end zone. Well, the offense couldn't get anything going on their last drive. Let's see if they can do a little bit better here. The offense will start at the 20-yard line. Rice comes out with an I formation. Straight ahead with the fullback. Wallace with the tackle at the 30. They'll grab 10 yards there. Second and less than a yard.
Ball on the 30-yard line.
I formation here. Merritt on the run. Pierre brings him down at the 30-yard line.
Carrier. No gain on the play. First and
From
10.
their own 30-yard line.
On the 30-yard
First
line.
down. The Owls are lining up with 3 receivers. Juke move. Lyles with the tackle at the 36.
On the carry.
Merritt gains around 6 yards on the run. Second and 4.
Ball on the 36-yard line.
Merritt is the single setback. Merritt again, and he's tackled at the 38. Merritt picks up 2 yards with the carry.
2 on the play.
Third down.
2. Ball on the 38-yard line.
Merritt, the lone back. Pierre brings him down at the 40. He'll be stopped just short of a first down.
2 on the play.
So close, yet so far away. I thought he had it.
Fourth and
They come out in a punt
Ball
formation.
on the 40-yard line.
Curry back deep to return. He gets it off. Curry fields it to 31. Well, I'll tell you guys, a passing game was sure on target during their last drive.
And the quarterback had great protection by his offensive line. When he gets time, he can pick you apart.
We've got a first and 10. Ball on their own 38. The Owls bring in the nickel package. Tackle at the 49-yard line. Nice gain for the halfback.
That time they kept it on the ground with the counter play. The blocking was great up front, and the tailback was able to get into the open field and do some special things.
Let's take a look at the offensive production numbers, brought to you by Coca-Cola. USC comes to the line, only one man in the backfield. And he's got him on the run. Pittman with a takedown at the 32-yard line.
I'll tell you, this receiver showed really good hands on that play.
This kid is always calling for the ball. And if he keeps making plays like that, he'll continue to get the ball.
First down. They use 4 linebackers. He gets another carry. And he's taken down at the 28-yard line. Holland gains about 4 yards on the play, so that'll make it second down. It's second down and 6 to go. Ball on the 28-yard line. The Trojans line up with 3 wide. Cutler hands it off. Oliver brings him down for a loss. That was well defended by this defense.
Hey, that linebacker made a nice play. But what about all those big guys up front on the defensive line? They're good too, boy.
Well, they created the play this time, Coach. The offensive line is so concerned with their penetrating abilities that these linebackers are able to roam free and make plays like that.
Holland alone in the backfield. Cutler back to throw. He looks, throwing left. Finds his receiver. And Herbie, that was a good-looking throw.
Yeah, and what impresses me is the composure of this young quarterback. He made a great read, saw the open receiver, and delivered an almost perfect strike. Good-looking play.
And we take a quick look at the stats from within the red zone, brought to you by Old Spice Red Zone, when performance matters most. Ace backfield. Makes a move. Robinson tackles him at the 8. He gains a couple of yards on the carry. Second down and goal. Ball on the 8-yard line. Holland is the single setback. Holland gets another carry. And they make the stop at the 2. They call his number, and he carries for 6 yards. Third down now, and goal to go. And this is the 8th play of the drive. USC will line up in a jumbo set here. Cutler makes a handoff, and it falls incomplete. Fourth down, and this one's a chip shot about 19 yards away. This will just add insult to injury. It's up, and it's through the upright. And here's the Pontiac drive summary. Is lined up to kick this one off. And it's off. Walker fields it in the end zone. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the coach gave his offense quite a speech before he sent them out there.
And let's not forget, they had some things clicking the last time out. He's probably just reminding them to finish the job this time.
Here's a look at the offensive production statistics, brought to you by Coke. Single set backfield. Hands it to the back. Oliver brings him down at the 32. Merrick gets 3 yards on the play. That'll bring up second down. It's second and 7. Ball on their own 32-yard line. Rice comes to the line, only one man in the backfield. Merrick gets the call again. The offense couldn't get those linemen blocked, and they'll lose yards.
Well, here the defensive lineman did a great job in sealing up the hole at the line of scrimmage.
From their own 30-yard line. Ball on the 39. Rice comes out in the shotgun. Got hit as he threw, and this one falls incomplete. That brings up a punting situation.
I'll tell you what, this defense did a heck of a job that time to hold them to 3 and out.
4th and 9.
The Owls line up the punt.
30-yard line.
Curry is back to receive. He punts it. Curry fields it at the 34. Good job on their last drive, getting 3. Let's see if they can get some more on this drive.
They'll
go to work
at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10.
Holland, the lone back. First down, look at the throw. Catches it, and he's tackled right away.
That catch just gave him 100 on the year, Coach.
You know, there are only 2 or 3 guys a year that pass that mark. That is a huge milestone for this kid.
Is it safe to say that this quarterback likes throwing the ball to this kid?
Second down, 4 yards to go. Ball on the 41. Holland on the right side, and he tackles him hard at the 41. They came with a blitz that time and got to the tailback for the loss. Third down and 4 coming up on this one. Ball on the 41-yard line. The Trojans come out in the ace formation. Cutler back to pass. It's tipped. Great defensive effort that time.
Did you see how that safety played that ball? That was a beautiful play.
4th and 4.
Here comes the punter
Ball on the
looking to boot this one
41-yard
away.
line.
Walker is back deep to return. Punts the ball away. Walker signals for a fair catch. The offense gets ready to start a new drive as they just couldn't get anything going on their last possession, going 3 and out. They'll get the ball here at the 22-yard line. Single set backfield. They go with a run. He's taken down at the 24-yard line with a yard, maybe 2 on the carry.
2 on the play.
It's second down and 8. Ball on their own 24.
24-yard line.
Rice lines up with 3 receivers. He jukes him, and they got to him before he could get back to the line. Loss of 1 there for the halfback. From their own 23-yard line.
On the 23-yard
Third down.
line.
The Trojans bring in their dime package. Back to pass. Stepping up. He lets it go, and that one's incomplete. So they couldn't pick up the long yardage, and now they'll have to punt.
Fourth and 9.
They come out in a punt formation. Wheeler is waiting for the snap. He gets it away. Curry fields it to 44. The defense really shut these guys down the last time they had the ball.
The offense looked a bit out of sync on that last possession, Coach.
And it was the defense that threw them out of sync, Kirk. Those guys are fired up. Let's see if they can hold them again.
The offense will take over at the 44.
First and 10.
USC sets up in the I. Feeds it to the back. They'll bring him down at the 48. Holland gets about 4 yards on the play. It's second down, 6 yards to go.
Ball on the 48-yard
Ball on the 48. Breaks it. Tackle made at the 46-yard line. That run gives them the first down.
You know, in the media conference a couple of days ago, the coach talked about how important it was for them to establish the running game. Let's see if this helps them open up the passing game innings.
We've got a first and 10. Ball on the 46-yard line. Single set backfield. Throws it. This one is incomplete.
That sailed over the receiver's head.
Yeah, this receiver is fast, but not that fast.
It's second down and 10 to go. Ball on the 46-yard line. The defense lines up with 5 defensive backs. Brought down at the 42. Holland gains about 4 yards on the play. That'll make it third down. We've got a third and 6.
Ball on the 42-yard line.
USC comes to the line with 3 wide. Cutler drops to throw. Steps up in the pocket. He throws right. It's tipped. Incomplete pass. And that makes it fourth down.
Boy, great defense on that play. They were expecting the pass, and they defended it very well by getting a hand in there to break up the play.
Fourth and 6.
USC ready to punt this one away. Prince awaits the snap. Plenty of hang time on this one. Calls for the fair catch. They'll down the punt at the 5-yard line.
Yo, the defense really stepped up to force that 3 and out on the last drive.
Yeah, the offense wasn't clicking on their last possession. We'll see if they have things figured out on this next drive.
It's first down. The offense lines up with 3 wide receivers. Lets it fly. The senior makes the catch. So the defense kept everything in front of them on that play.
They didn't pick up much on that play, but if they keep dumping it off like that, the safeties are going to have to creep up. When you force the safeties to play shallow, it opens up a whole other passing game. That's when you hit them with the home run.
The Trojans line up with 6 defensive backs. Sheds a tackler. Wallace tackles him at the 23-yard line. And that was an excellent run there.
Yeah, Brad, but it was also great blocking up front by the offensive line to open up the hole.
Here's a look at the offensive production statistics brought to you by Coca-Cola. The Owls come out in a shotgun. Stone looking to throw on first down. He snags it. He's tackled at the 40. They brought the house on that one.
And this kid shows a lot of poise and moxie in the pocket. He knew he was going to get hit, but he hung in there and delivered the ball with accuracy.
It's first and 10. Ball on their own 40. Stone lines up in the shotgun. He goes straight to the back. They'll bring him down at the 44-yard line. Barry gets about 4 yards on the play. Second and 6 coming up here. Ball on the 44-yard line. The Owls line up with 3 wide. It's a direct snap. Brought down at the 47. Barrett gets 3 yards on the play.
3-yard gain on the play.
It's third down and 3 to go. Ball on the 47-yard line. Gives it off with the spin. Lyles tackles him for a loss on the play. The defense just swarmed over him.
Yeah, they were able to penetrate the offensive line and get to the running back before that play even had a chance.
4th and 5.
Rice ready to put this one away. Wheeler is waiting for the snap. The defense jumped, but I think a lineman moved first.
Offsides. On the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's first down.
Ball on the 50-yard line.
And they got him for a loss. 1 yard loss for the halfback. From their own 49-yard line. 2nd and 11. Stone comes to the line with 3 wide. And he's tackled at the 47-yard line. It's third and 7. This is the 9th play of this drive. The Owl set up in the gun. Rolls to the left. He throws. And that one's fallen incomplete.
He wasn't letting the receiver get to that one.
That's a big play on 3rd down to get a hand in there and break up the pass.
I think the quarterback would like to have that one back.
4th and 7.
They come out in a punt formation.
47-yard line.
Taylor, the return man. Plenty of hang time on this one. Calls for the fair catch. The defense did a good job against them the last time they had the ball, forcing the punt.
But remember, they had given up quite a few yards before forcing that punt. They might not be so lucky this time.
They'll take over at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10.
The Owl come out in a 34 defense. Cutler will hand it off. They'll bring him down at the 17-yard line. Holland picks up about 4 yards on the play, so that'll make it 2nd down. Second and 6. Ball on their own 17.
17-yard line.
The Trojans go with the I formation. Brought down at the 19. Gain of 2. Third from their own 19-yard line.
Ball on the 19-yard line.
The Trojans come out showing 3 wide. Back to pass. Across the middle. It's tipped. He almost had the completion.
Yeah, but the defense was ready and were able to get a hand on the pass and bring up 4th down.
4th and 4.
The Trojans
Ball
are lining
on
up to punt it away.
19-yard line.
Walker is back deep to return. Punts the ball away. Walker fields it at the 39. Not a whole lot on the return.
Well, I look at it this way. He didn't fumble, and he didn't lose yardage. What more could you ask for?
This drive will start at the 44-yard line.
1st and 10.
The Owl line up with 3 wide. He delivers. Incomplete pass. Davis was the intended target on the play. That'll make it 2nd down. They line up at the 44.
Ball on the 44-yard
It's 2nd and 10. Stone has 5 receivers lined up here. He's looking to pass. Throws it deep downfield. And it falls incomplete. Walker was the intended receiver on that pass. That'll bring up 3rd down. We've got 3rd and 10.
Ball on the 44-yard line.
Rice comes out in the shotgun. Stone set to go to the air. He lets it go. Catches it. He's tackled at the 49. Doesn't get enough for the 1st down.
Yeah, nice job of making a few yards, but they got to be disappointed they didn't make the 1st down.
4th and 3.
Here comes the punter looking to boot this one away. It's a high kick, and it holds up there. Wallace fields it at the 17. Not a very good series for this offense on their last drive as they were forced into a 3-and-out.
Boy, oh boy, they had nothing going last time.
And maybe it's good you need to get out there and show them what you're made out of.
Somebody give me a helmet quickly.
They'll set up shop at the 19. USC sets up in the I. They hand it off. Tackle made at the 23. The Trojans take a timeout, and that was their first timeout. It's second down and 6 to go. Ball on the 23-yard line. Rice comes out defensively with 6 defensive backs. Someone got a hand on it. And that was a good defensive play.
Yeah, guys, this is because he's in great position to make the play.
That'll make it third down.
Third
down.
6. Ball on the 23-yard line.
And that defense is getting a little excited down there.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
And the defense gives up some 3 yards to the offense.
You know, penalties can ruin a team's chances to win if they commit too many.
Third and 1.
Third down and a yard. Pittman brings him down for a loss. Rice just took their first time out. And they're ready to punt this one away. Walker is back deep to return the punt. He gets it off. Walker fields it at the 40.
You guys remember what this offense did the last time they had the
Gain
ball?
of 5 yards.
Exactly. It was 3 and out so fast they had to ask for slow-mo replay to recap that.
The
They'll
Rice
go to work.
Owls take
At the
over at
44.
the 44-yard line. First and 10.
They'll work from the shotgun. Stone drops to throw. Someone got a hand on it. Davis was the intended receiver on the play. That'll bring up second down. Second
and
down.
10. Ball on the 44-yard line.
The Owls line up with a single set backfield. He snags it, and they make the stop at the 49. Rice will take a timeout. From the 49-yard line. Third down. Stone comes to the line with 3 wide. Merritt on the run. Pierre tackles him behind the line for a loss on the play. And the defensive end comes up with a big play.
Boy, he's quick as a cat, no question. He got tremendous penetration and was able to wrap him up for a loss there.
The Owls line up the punt. Curry is the deep man awaiting the return. Wheeler punts it, and it doesn't look like he got all of that one. Calls for the fair catch. And now we'll see the offense come out onto the field for their next possession. The offense will take over at the 25-yard line. He looks to throw on first down. He throws it. It's tipped. Daniels was the intended receiver on that pass. That'll bring up second down. It's second down.
Ball on the 25-yard line.
The defense sets up in the dime. Inside give. He broke his ankle. Brought down with only one man to beat. The Trojans call a timeout, and they'll have one timeout left. Here's a look at the offensive production statistics, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Three-man front defensively. Looks to pass. He's going left. And it's caught. He lost the ball. It's picked up by the defense. And they fall on the loose ball. They'll bring him down at the 48. The linebacker made a heads-up play to recover that fumble.
Boy, I'll say he did. He knew right where to be.
First down
at the 48-yard line. 1st and 10.
And we'll probably see how far he can throw it, as it should be the last play before the half. He drops back. Here they come. And he's sacked. This one is not even close. Our score, USC 37, Rice 8.
The
Rice
Owls
got the ball
will
to
be
start the
kicking
game,
off
so they'll be kicking off to
half.
start the second half. He sends it downfield. Holland takes it at the 14. Time once again for this offense to come back out and start another drive. They'll get the ball here at the 30.
At the 30-yard line. 1st and 10.
They come out in a nickel. Cutler gives it up the middle. The big guy with room to run. Miranda with the tackle at the 41-yard line. He's not your ordinary fullback. This guy can move.
You bet he can. I like this kid. He's a heck of a football player. They need to get him some more carries.
They line up at the 41. First down. They come out with three wide receivers. Can't wrap him up. Brought down at the 42. They get a yard on the play. They line up at the 42. It's 2nd and 9. Ace backfield. They'll knock him down for a loss. Loss of 2 on the run by the halfback. They line up at the 40. 3rd and 11-yard line. And they have 3 bunch. Cutler drops back. He steps up. He throws left. Found his man. To the 20. To the 10. Touchdown, Trojans. What do you think about that touchdown pass, Kirk? That was number 3, Herbie.
Well, patience is the key here, guys. What I'm noticing more and more about this guy is he's very patient with the ball, and it's resulting in some nice scores, just like we've seen today.
They'll line up for the extra point. He makes the PAT. That score leads us to our Pontiac drive celebration. USC is lining up to kick this one off. He kicks off. Walker fields it in the end zone. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. Here's a look at the offensive production statistics, brought to you by Coke. The Owls are lining up with 3 receivers. Setting up play action over the middle.
That was a laser, Kirk. This guy has a huge arm.
Yeah, it's like he's throwing darts, but it's coming at about 86 miles an hour.
Second and short. Ball on their own 33. Rice comes out with 2 tight ends. Stone with the give. He jukes, and he hits him hard at the 35-yard line. Well, they give it to the fullback, and he'll pick up just enough for the first down.
Heads-up play. He knew where he had to go to get the first down. He picked it up easily.
They'll line up at the 35. First down. Stone with 3 wide receivers. Kirk, they really had nothing going on that run.
I'll tell you what, Brad, it's almost like he ran into a brick wall on that play.
From their own 35-yard line. It's second down. They line up in the shotgun. Stone drops back to pass. Moves up in the pocket. Pierre comes away with a sack. Third down and 12. Ball on the 33-yard line. Rice comes out in the shotgun. Steps up. He's looking for his man. Has it to the senior. Wallace tackles him at the 46-yard line. He got a lot of jersey on that play. Not too much argument about this call.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
They'll bring the ball back and mark off some yards against them. Third down again.
Oh, yeah, and those types of mistakes kill drives more times than not.
Third down and what they did want to get in. Ball on their own 23. They'll work from the shotgun. Stepping up, throws it to the outside. Batted ball. They couldn't pick up the first down, so they'll have to punt this one away.
Fourth and long.
The Owls line up to punt. Wheeler is waiting for the snap. Punts the ball away. Curry takes it at the 45. The offense running for the first play of this drive. They moved the ball extremely well on their last possession on their way to the end zone. They'll take over at the 46.
They'll take over at the 46-yard line. First and 10.
And they have 3 bunched. Here's the give. A loss on that one as he couldn't get past those big linemen.
You got that right. They sacrificed their bodies in there and stuffed him.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 46-yard line. Cutler pitches it out. Tackle made at the 40-yard line. That's now 100 yards rushing on the day.
Brad, that's just hard-nosed running, and it gives them another solid day at the ballpark.
Let's take a look at the offensive production numbers, brought to you by Coca-Cola. They line up in an I, again with the run. And they make the stop at the 34-yard line. Holland gets 6 yards on the play. From the 34-yard line. It's second down and 4 to go. Looks like he flinched down there on the line.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still
Nothing
second
gets
down.
under a coach's skin more than a penalty like that.
Believe me, I know any time a player on my team committed a penalty, they were running stadium
Second and
steps the
9.
next day.
Ball
They
on
line
the
up at the
39-yard
39.
line.
It's second and 9. Cutler drops to throw. He steps up, throws down the middle. His receiver has it. That one worked pretty well.
It's a good job here by the wide receiver to get open. He created good separation from the defense.
First and 10. Ball on the 23.
23-yard line.
Holland gets the call again. Oliver brings him down for a loss.
This is a heads-up play by the linebacker. He's playing run and had his eyes on the guy carrying the football from the get-go. Good defensive play.
It's second down and 11 to go. Ball on the 24-yard line. Cutler back to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Throws it out there. Finds his receiver. And guys, you can just feel the momentum building with this drive.
That's their third first down on this drive alone, Coach.
Yep, we all know how important momentum is in college football. This defense really needs to step up and get some of it back.
And since we're in the red zone, let's have a look at the numbers. Brought to you by Old Spice Red Zone, when performance matters most. Looks to pass. He passes it. He snags it. And Kirk, that was a nice grab there.
You know, it may be simple, but whenever you can gain solid yardage, you're doing something right.
The ball is on the 4, and they're going in. I formation, looking to punch it in here.
And plenty of options on this play, you guys. Wow, it's not often you see a safety making a play in the backfield like that.
Well, these days, you've got safeties playing up close to the line of scrimmage, almost like a fourth linebacker. The only way that you can keep them from cheating up is to take some chances downfield.
The ball's on the 6-yard line, and we've got 3rd and goal. Cutler is looking to stay perfect on this drive. Here comes the pressure. They bring him down. Flags are down, and this one might be on the offense.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Fourth down. Goal. This kick will be about a 28 or 29-yarder. They're already up big, and this could make the lead bigger. The kick is up, and he's got it. And now we'll take a look at the Pontiac drive summary. to kick this one off. He sends it off. Walker fields it at the 2. And now a slight break in the action as the offense comes out onto the field for their next possession. Here's the offensive production statistics, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Rice in a 4-wide set. Stone hands it off. The halfback just couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1.
Loss on the play.
It's second down.
Ball on the 18-yard line.
The defense lines up with 5 defensive backs. They snap it to the back. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
No gain on the play.
Third down.
Ball on the 18-yard line.
Rice comes to the line, only 1 man in the backfield. Stone on play action. Throwing left. It falls incomplete. Well, the defense stood tall there.
Boy, the defense did what they had to do to get 3 and out and now get the offense back on the field.
4th and 11.
The Owls line up to punt. Wheeler awaits the snap. He gets it away. Curry takes it at the 49. So he got a little on that return.
Well, Brad, early it looked like there was an opening there, but the seam closed quickly.
Kirk, you never listen to me. I've been telling you about that awesome team speed all day long. Aren't you going to listen to me?
The offense will start at the 44. He drops back. Steps up in the pocket. Cutler lets it go. Evans brings him down at the 33. Kirk, what can you say about this quarterback?
Anytime you pass for 400 yards in a game, you're making good reads and delivering the ball where it's got to be. He's having a solid game out there.
Here's a look at the offensive production statistics, brought to you by Coke. The Trojans come out in the ace formation. Holland gets the call. Miranda with a takedown at the 28-yard line. Holland comes away with 5 yards on the carry. From the 28-yard line. Second down. They're in the eye. And they'll run him again. Pass him to Gillette. Little shake and bake move. And he's taken down at the 14-yard line. And he reeled off a big one there.
This offensive line is built to allow this tailback to make plays, as you just saw. He's able to get into the open and create some excitement right there.
And we take a quick look at the stats from within the red zone, brought to you by Old Spice Red Zone, when performance matters most. Holland gets a call. Walker tackles him behind the line for a loss on the play. 3-yard loss there. Second down, 13 yards to go.
On the 17-yard line.
USC goes with the ace set here. Cutler drops back, waits till the last moment. Touchdown, USC! And he managed to find his tight end for his second touchdown reception of the ball game. So the kicking team will line up for the point after. He splits the uprights with the extra point. So we take a moment to check out the Pontiac drive summary. USC lines up for the kickoff. Here's the kick. Davis takes it from the 6. And now we'll see the offense come out onto the field for their next possession. Let's take a look at the offensive production numbers, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Rice comes out in the shotgun. Direct snap to the back. They'll bring him down at the 24. Couldn't get anything out of that.
No gain on the play.
It's second and 10.
Ball on the 24-yard line.
The Owls come out in a shotgun. And he's hammered down. Third their own 25-yard line.
On the 25-yard
It's third down.
line.
The Owls line up with 3 wide. Back to pass. Looking. Somehow gets the ball away. He took his eyes off the ball and dropped it.
You got to squeeze that ball, then think about where you're going to go.
Fourth and 9.
Rice lining up the punt. Curry, the return man. Punts the ball away. Curry fields it at the 44. Passing wasn't much of a problem the last time this offense had the ball, as they were able to get it in for 6. From the 45-yard
The
line.
USC Trojans
First
take
down.
over at the 45-yard line. First and 10.
USC lines up in a bunch formation. First down, look at the throw. Throwing right, catches it. That's a nice 6-yard gain. It's second down and 4 to go.
Ball on the
39.
39-yard line.
Cutler set to go to the air. Comes across the middle. The defender had it and then dropped it.
The quarterback is going to think twice about throwing the football his way again.
Safety couldn't hang on to the ball this time, but you can bet if he gets a chance again, this ball will be picked off.
Third down. Holland lines up in a deep back, I formation. Gives it up the middle. Tackle at the 36. They'll be short of the first down after that unsuccessful running play.
Nice job here by the defense of holding firm and forcing a fourth down.
So they're going to go for it here. The Trojans line up in an I formation. Cutler will hand it off. Oliver brings him down at the 34. So on fourth down, they run it, and they pick up just enough for the first.
Just enough is right. Not a whole lot of running room down there.
Yeah, it's a good thing they didn't need a lot of room.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 34-yard line. The defense lines up in a dime. First down, look at the throw. Lets it fly. This one is incomplete. He got the ball away, but it wasn't anywhere near a completion.
Nah, he just wanted to avoid the sack.
Second
They
and
line
10.
up at the 34.
Ball on the 34-yard
It's second
line.
down. Rice lines up with 5 defensive backs. The Gives to the fullback. Brought down at the 30. They got 4 yards on that one. The defense sets up in the nickel. He drops back. Cutler lets it fly. Someone got a hand on it.
Great play by the defender.
Oh, yeah, he got his hand in there, broke up the pass, and that brings up 4th down.
So the kicker comes out. He'll try to put 3 points on the board.
30-yard
The field goal attempt will be about a 47-yarder. This will just add insult to injury. It's up. And it's right down the middle.
He looked pretty good kicking the ball there.
Yep, the kicker did a good job of keeping his head down and striking the ball right between the goalposts for a long field goal.
Ready to kick. He kicks it off. Walker has it at the 5. They had nothing going for him on that kick return.
Oh, you're right, my friend. And that's because of excellent kickoff coverage.
This drive will start at the 14-yard line. The Owls come out showing 3 wide. Juke move. He's tackled at the 19. Around 5 yards on the delayed handoff.
On the play.
They line up at the 19. 2nd down. Single set backfield. Tackle made at the 19-yard line. Picked up a yard of anything on that run.
On the play.
It's 3rd and 5. Ball on the
19-yard line.
They'll work from the shotgun. It's a direct snap. Weaver with the tackle and the 20. That's not going to move the sticks.
This defense played some sound football out there and did a good job of not letting them get into any kind of rhythm.
4th and 4.
Rice lining up the front.
20-yard line.
Wheeler is waiting for the snap. He gets it off. Fuller takes it at the 49. Time once again for this offense to come back out and start another drive. They'll get the ball here at the 47-yard line.
At the 47-yard line. 1st and 10.
Looks like they've taken out their quarterback and they're giving this young man some mop-up duty. And down he goes at the 38-yard line. The quarterback just rifled that one in there for a good game.
Boy, he's throwing the football with some pop, isn't he, Coach?
Hey, if he's not careful, he's going to break his receiver's fingers.
It's 2nd down and 1 to go.
Ball on the 38-yard line.
The Trojans line up with a single set backfield. Throws, and they couldn't hook up on that one.
I know it's tough, but as a receiver, you really need to be aware of the sideline at all times.
You know, all you can do here is practice, practice, practice. And eventually, that sideline will become a sixth sense to you.
Rice brings in the nickel here. McDaniel drops back to pass. Batted ball. That's incomplete.
How about that play, Coach?
Kirk, that's exactly how you teach a player to defend the pass. Do anything possible to disrupt the play. You don't necessarily have to make the interception to make a big play on defense.
That's very true. Now they'll have a 4th down situation.
McDaniel back to pass. He passes it. Got him again. And he's tackled in the open field.
You know, it's really easy to overlook those guys on the line.
Yeah, the defense came after them, and those linemen held them long enough for the quarterback to throw for a first down.
Let's take a look at the offensive production numbers, brought to you by Coke. Back to Pat. He's looking. Throws it. It's complete. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Second down. They come out in a nickel. McDaniel back to throw. Surveys the field. And it's caught. Oliver brings him down at the 21-yard line. And he didn't have much of a chance on that play.
Boy, this defense has a lot of speed. They're all over him by the time he caught the ball.
Third down and 7. Ball on the 21-yard line.
21-yard line.
Rice comes out defensively with 6 defensive backs. The defense jumped, but I think a lineman moved first.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
So they'll move him back after the penalty.
I bet that one has the fans steaming.
That wasn't a very bright play by that young man. You can bet that the fans aren't the only ones unhappy. His coaches don't look too happy either.
Have a look at our Old Spice red zone numbers. Red zone, when performance matters most. Handoff up the middle. Brought down at the 13. And that'll be good enough to move the sticks.
Great run. And now we've got a new set of downs.
First down, 10 yards to go. They're threatening inside the 20. The Trojans line up in an I formation. And they'll run him again. They'll bring him down at the 12. He barely got it past the line of scrimmage that time. From the 12-yard line. Second down. The defense is looking for the pass as they bring out their dime package. McDaniel steps back to Pat. Third and 12 coming up on this one.
Ball on the 15-yard line.
Parks alone in the backfield. He drops back. Moves up in the pocket. Looks. And now he's going to improvise. There's a very impressive open field tackle. And he got about 6 on that little scramble. Go to the final quarter of play. This one is almost wrapped up. Our score here, USC 57, Rice 8.
Fourth and 6.
This should be an easy field goal.
Ball on the 9-yard line.
This will just add insult to injury. He gets it up, and it's good. And now we're going to take a look at the Pontiac drive summary. USC is ready to kick it away. Walker and Davis back to return. He really got a hold of that kick. Davis from his own end zone.
You know who's trembling right now?
Well, it's not the defense. They've played well all game.
They'll start this drive at the 20-yard line. Merrick is the deep back as they line up in the I. Fakes to the back. He lets it go. Gets past the tackler. And he's level at the 25-yard line. Rodgers is walking off the field now, and the trainers are going to have a close look at him.
Looks like he came down on his leg the wrong way. But it won't stop this kid from playing. He's a tough one.
Second down and 5. Ball on their own 25. Stone with 4 wide receivers. Merrick takes it up the middle. And he's taken down at the 28-yard line. Merrick gains around 3 yards on the run. So that'll make it 3rd down. They line up at the 28. It's 3rd down and 2 to go. Rice lines up with 3 receivers. Merrick will run it again. Shakes off a tackle. Tackle made at the 42-yard line. That was a pretty good run.
Incredible effort there, running the football by this guy.
Let's take a look at the offensive production numbers, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Rice comes out in the shotgun. Merrick gets another handoff. He's hit and got away. Merrick comes away with 2 yards on the carry. That'll make it 2nd down. Second and 8 coming up here. Stone lines up in the shotgun. Fumble, loose ball. Alexander with a recovery. A fumble here is the last thing they needed.
Well, you know what they say. When it rains, it pours.
And at this point, they're in a torrential downpour. Absolutely nothing has worked for them today.
Excellent field position to start the drive. The Owls line up in a 3-4. They'll bring him down at the 30-yard line. And they move the chains once again.
And that's what they need. Move the chains and keep the other team from getting their hands on the football.
McDaniel still has it. Incomplete pass. The defense got some pressure and forced a bad pass.
I think they've been a little bit more aggressive here with their pass rush, and that time it paid off with an incompletion.
It's 2nd down and 10 to go. Ball on the 30-yard line. The Trojans are lining up with 3 receivers. Batted ball. He threw that to a guy who was well covered, and it almost got intercepted.
Yeah, he's very lucky. That ball was only tipped.
Third down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 30-yard line. Parks lines up as a single back. Back to pass. Rolling out to the left side. Dukes makes the sack. That gives this defensive unit 5 sacks for the ball game.
The defense came into this game with a game plan to put the pressure on the quarterback. It's safe to say they're happy with their performance.
So the kicker's on the field, and he's really going to have to get some leg into this kick. This is to add to an already impressive lead. It has the distance. And it sails through the upright.
That was not an easy 3 points for this offense.
Yeah, but this kicker sure made it look easy. What a leg this kid has.
Hey, I give credit to any of these guys that can kick it 50-plus. That's just awesome.
for the kick. He hits a booming kick. Davis from his own end zone. Guys, what do you think about this situation?
Hopefully we'll see the offense move this ball up the field a little bit.
Yeah, Coach, they really haven't had too much success today. But this is an opportunity for them to get their team back on track and build some confidence going into the next game.
First and 10.
Merrick alone in the backfield. Setting up play action. Lets it go. Complete. Alexander with a takedown at the 24. That was a good completion there.
Yeah, I really liked the good, clean routes they ran on that play.
They line up at the 24. Second down and 6. Stone with 3 wide receivers. Merrick on the handoff. Shifty move there. Bernard tackles him at the 28. He carries the ball for 3, maybe 4 yards. Third and a couple. Ball on their own 28-yard line. They'll line it up with 4 wide receivers. And they make the stop at the 32. First and 10. Ball on their own 32. They come out with 3 wide receivers. Looking to throw. And they try to set up a screen. Catches it. He's taken down at the 33. The defense is all over that pass.
Like glue. I'm telling you, this defense is tough.
Second down.
Ball on the 33-yard line.
Stone comes to the line with 3 wide. Stone with the give. They'll bring him down at the 38. Merrick gains about 5 yards on the run, so that'll make it third down. The offense faces another third down as they line it up. They come out in a goal line set. Merrick will run it again.
Instead of running around the defenders, he ran right into them.
I don't think it mattered if he ran left or right or over the top. They just lost the battle up front.
Fourth and 5.
The Owls are lining up to punt it away. Wheeler awaits the snap. Punts the ball away. Signals for a fair catch. The offense goes back out onto the field after picking up a field goal on their last drive. It's first down. The Trojans line up with a single set backfield. Hands it to the back. McCall with the tackle at the 41-yard line. And he busts a big one on this defense.
With his halfback is running the ball, I'd put a few more guys in the box there defensively to try to stop him.
We've got a first and 10. Ball on the 41. McDaniel looking to throw on first down. And it's caught. Walters with a takedown at the 47-yard line. Nice little catch there, huh, Coach?
Yeah, that was a good call. I like that call. I like short passes. They're safe and can lead to some really good yardage.
Second and 4. Ball on the 47.
47-yard line.
He'll give it off here. Taylor tackles him for a loss on the play. A great defensive effort there.
And let me tell you, the key to that play was right there in the defensive line. They tied this offensive line up and allowed their linebackers to come up and make a big play.
Lee, I agree with you. We always talk about the linebackers and safeties, but credit the big guys up front for that play.
The Owls come out into 34 defense. They're going to pitch it. tackled at the 38.
I think this offensive line is getting better and better as the game goes along.
And, Coach, I'll tell you what, I think they're killing the will of this defense. And I don't think they're done just yet.
Let's take a look at the offensive production numbers, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Another handoff. The halfback couldn't get any running room.
And that was because the defense had called a blitz just at the right time. He went right through the offensive line and nailed him for a loss.
It's second down now, 14 to go. Ball on the 42. McDaniel drops back. He's going right. Catches it. The 10. Touchdown! And they just continue to pour it out there.
Tell you what, this has been a tremendous effort all game long. What a performance.
This is one team that's been extremely well prepared. These young men have played about as good a game as you could ask.
Here's the try for the extra point. And he adds the extra point. And here's the Pontiac drive summary. Ready to kick this one off. And this is just a booming kick. Walker fields it in the end zone.
They've been getting walloped all day, but at least they're still working hard. I like a team that never quits.
Here are the offensive production stats, brought to you today by Coca-Cola. The Owls line up with 3 wide. Merrick gets the carry. Brought down at the 31-yard line. Merrick gets 6 yards on the carry.
6 on the play.
Rice in a 4-wide set, and he takes a big hit at the 30-yard line. Third down. 5. They come out with 4 wide out. Stone hands it off straight ahead. He's tackled in the open field. How about that conversion on third down?
Good push here by the guys up front, and they are really starting to work hard in the trenches.
Let me tell you something. The biggest compliment you can give a coach is that his team is playing hard. And you're right. These guys are playing real hard right now.
Here's a look at the offensive production statistics, brought to you by Coke. Rice sets up with 4 receivers. They'll throw on first down. He tosses it short. He let that pass get away from him.
I think he's a little bit anxious. He actually looked a little bit too juiced that time, and he'll get the next one.
They line up at the 43.
Ball on the 43-yard line.
Merrick lines up as a single back. He sheds it. And down he goes at the 44. The halfback picks up a yard.
1-yard gain on the play.
4 It's 3rd and 9 coming up.
Ball on the 44-yard line.
Stone with 3 wide receivers. Stone drops back to pass. Off his hands and incomplete. And they're going to get somebody for interference on that play. Let's see who the call is on.
Pass interference on the defense. Spot foul, first down.
That was a good call. The defender was all over it.
Sometimes holding up a defender is better than letting him go for a big game, or even worse, a touchdown.
First and 10.
We've got a 1st and 10.
Ball on the 41-yard line.
Stone comes to the line with 3 wide. And he's tackled at the 38-yard line.
22
Merrick
on the
gains
run.
around 3 yards on the
3-yard
run.
gain on the play.
It's 2nd down and 7 to go.
Ball
on the 38.
38-yard line.
Stone lines up in the shotgun with the throw. And it's caught. Great concentration. They'll get 6 yards. They put everyone up on the line. They'll bring him down at the 31. Well, they tried to keep it on the ground for the first down.
You know, Brad, here the defense just steps up and makes a play, stopping them and bringing up 4th down.
So it's 4th down, and the offense is still on the field. The offense lines up with 3 wide receivers. They bust up the play and stop them on 4th down.
And they stopped him again, Coach. This defense hasn't let up at all with the score the way it is.
No way. This defense takes pride in what they do out there. They don't care how much they're winning by. They're just trying to keep the other guys out of the end zone.
They'll
The
take
offense
over
will start
at the
at the
33.
33.
First and 10.
Ace backfield. Parks on the give. Brought down at the 35. Parks picks up 2 yards with a carry. It's 2nd down and 8.
Ball on the 35-yard line.
The defense lines up with 5 defensive backs. Here's the give, and he's taken down at the 36. And he gets a yard on the run.
Third and 7.
Single set backfield. He's looking to pass. And now he's going to run. Quarterback picked up a yard at best there on the scramble.
Fourth and 6.
The Trojans are lining up to punt it away. Prince is waiting for the snap. He punts it. Walker fields it at the 22. The offense saw their last drive end on 4th down. Will we see a similar result this time? They'll set up shop at the 25. Rice comes out in the shotgun. They snap it to the back. Tackle at the 40. What do you think of this guy?
Brad, this kid can play on my team any day, and I'll tell you why. He's almost guaranteed 100 yards rushing every time out.
Here's a look at the offensive production statistics, brought to you by Coke. Stone, hands off, tries to juke, and he's tackled at the 48.
On defense, it's all about instincts. It didn't look like their instincts worked too well on that play.
You're right, Lee. There was a lot of running room there.
First down, 10 to go.
Ball on the 48-yard
line. From the gun. Stone drops back. He lets it go. Catches it. Mitchell tackles him at the 41. Well, Coach, a short pickup on that pass play.
It was, but you know what? As long as they've got those guys getting open underneath, it'll take a lot of pressure off those offensive linemen who are trying to hold their blocks.
Second down. The Owls line up with a single set backfield. Again with the run. And he takes a big hit at the 43.
Oh, man. He'll feel that one in the morning.
That's called making a mistake. When you get into the backfield like that and put somebody on their back, it really sends a message.
It's 3rd and 5. Ball on the 43-yard line. Rice lines up in a shotgun set. Tackle made at the 41-yard line. They tried to run the ball for the first down, and they didn't get it.
No, sir. You saw the defense just power through their blocks and wham into him.
Fourth down, and the offense is still on the field. Roden is back in the gun. He didn't get it. It's not even close.
You know, Kirk, this defense continues to go all out. And you can credit the coaching staff for making sure these guys never give up.
That's right, because a lot of teams will lose the intensity when the game's already been decided. But not these young men. Another good stop right there.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 42. USC comes out with an I formation. Little handoff, and down he goes at the 49. 9-yard pickup. From the 49-yard line.
Ball on the
It's second down,
49-yard
a yard to go. The Trojans come out in a 2 tight end set. Peterson up the gut, tries to juke. That's a pretty nice run there.
Yeah, for a first down, too.
Yeah, anytime you can get production like this from the fullback, you give the defense something else to worry about.
It's first down.
1st and 10.
They're in the eye. And he's tackled at the 39-yard line. 4, maybe 5 yards on the run. From the 39-yard line.
Ball on the
Second and 5.
39-yard line.
Rice lines up with 5 defensive backs. Gives it to the back. And he is drilled at the 38.
That was a great tackle. The defender seemingly came out of nowhere and put a big hit on the ball carrier.
The fine folks from EA Sports would like to tip their hats to these kids on being named Coke Players of the Game. The Trojans line up in an I formation. Parks on the give. Hunter with the tackle at the 29. How about the job of this offensive line, guys?
Boy, the hog mollies up front are demoralizing the defense. It's tough when you're tired. You're losing. You're being dominated physically. I don't know how long they can keep this up.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 29. He's tackled at the 20. It's a done deal here as the final whistle blows. Coach, what's your final thought on the game?
I can't say enough about this performance. USC looked like a team on a mission to destroy anything and everything that got in their way. Brad, this is a really good-looking football team.
Well, folks, we thank you for joining us in this production of NCAA Football 2007. Our final score in this one, USC 70, Rice 8. Brad Nessler for Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit signing off. So long, everybody.